or Heineken. I used to go there years ago.
Can we all stand for the pledge to the flag?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening and welcome to the Edmiston Town Council meeting. I don't even know today's date. February 13th, the day before the Love Day.
No such thing. Okay.
All right. This meeting is called to order. And before we begin our meeting, we always take time for a moment of silence. I'd just like to call our attention to, I believe there was a police officer that lost his life to friendly fire. I don't know if it was in
New York.
It was in New York. If we could just remember that police officer and his family as we just take this few moments for a moment of silence. Thank you. The council would look over the agenda. There are no additions or subtractions from this agenda. I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I so move.
A second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, the agenda is approved. Before we go on to public comments, I'd like to just call up one of our wonderful residents who participates in almost everything that we have. Everything. He shows up for our meetings. He's here now. He's our only resident that is here now. He participates for Easter, Halloween, Christmas, seniors, everything. He actually won our contest for Christmas decorating contest, and I have a certificate for you. Thank you so much, Mr. Doyle. Thank you.
It's all for the kids and the neighbors.
Yes, you always say that. Thank
Plus, you like it too.
Wait a minute, I need a picture. Thank you.
And whenever he wins, because he does such a wonderful job, he always says that it's for the children, and I definitely believe that. The children do stop by to look at your lovely decorations. Thank you. You make our town beautiful. Hello.
You know, I also presented
Hello.
one over Fountain Park to the Rojas family.
Mm-hmm.
And then they moved.
And then they moved.
I mean, it's bad because it's a terrible turnover over there.
Uh-huh. But they're...
Because of the way the rent is. I mean, just about everywhere the rent goes up every month.
Yeah.
But it's just a little ridiculous over there. It's such a big turnover over there in Fountain Park.
Rental.
They stay every month?
I mean, every year.
Yeah.
Every year.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you get people move in, they stay a year and they're gone. Because,
This area.
and then you get you pay too much for what you get. You know, it's,
Yeah.
come on, it's a place over 60 years old and they want this outrageous rent. And it's not worth it when you can ask the code enforcer. Because she inspects those apartments and she even tell you, no, it's not even worth it. It's not. But that's how it goes.
His balcony was beautiful.
Oh yeah. I wish we could have did best doors. Because it's one resident. She participates sometime in some thing. Crystal, she one of our recipients for Thanksgiving baskets, and I should have took a picture. I didn't, but the way she decorated her door, I think she won first place over because Fountain Park did it also.
Did there?
No.
I mean, she did. Her door was a Santa Claus with the hat, the face, You actually thought you was walking in Santa Claus.
You know, you could have done that in lieu of the balcony.
Yeah, but it didn't hit me till afterwards.
Till after.
Because I had already judged it, and when I delivered the basket, that's when I seen it. Because I don't ordinarily go in them. I go in my building, not the other buildings. So, and I see things from the outside. So. But next time, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go inside and judge doors if they do the doors. But then that's like a double, though.
Well, yeah.
That's why we eliminated
Yeah.
what we do over there, because we was doing first, second, and third. Now we just do one.
But
And
that's
do
a
two
good point
within
that
the
you
time.
made about rent. And I know that I think they were trying to do some legislation about, we don't have rent control, I believe, in Maryland, but
Well, we need it.
Is that
they were
something on
trying
like
to do,
county level that could be addressed?
well, they were,
Like, I wonder if it's worth. I know Jolene Ivy's having like a town hall
Yeah.
or something. Maybe that might
23rd.
be. Yeah, that might be a good.
Well,
thing,
I
at least
talked
there.
to few months back. I talked to Alonzo Washington about it, because when he was running for re-election, he ran on that ticket, and I talked to him, and he said he's gonna look into it. So I don't know if he's still looking into it, because I only talked to him twice. So I don't know if he's still pursuing it or not.
I believe there are some things
Yeah.
in the workings, but,
But it's definitely needed.
yeah. Especially when you're talking about seniors that still want to live, within the communities and not
Right.
necessarily in senior homes.
And you only, if you're retired or you get
Yeah.
help, you only get so much, and it exceeds the limit.
Right.
So
Thank you. So now I'm still going to open it up for public comments, and I believe I have a resident here who'd like to speak. And I just ask you, when you get to the podium, just state your name and your address, and then.
My name is Robert Duran. My address is 5301 Decatur Street.
Yes, sir. Now you can.
Good evening. I'm here with my wife and my son today, and I'm here because we need some help over there on 53rd Avenue. We have a big parking issue, and today, thankfully, code enforcement came out, ticket some cars, and it made a difference, because it's to us, finding parking. We coming from work, we can't find no parking, and pretty much the issue is that we have people coming from other areas. I don't know from where these people are coming, but they're coming to leave their vehicles, and then they leave with another vehicle. They take parking spaces all throughout our area on 53rd Avenue and Decatur Street. Also, another situation is the two mechanic shops. They're full of cars. They can't fit not even one more car in there. So what they do is they dump the cars to our streets, and they park them there for months. There's a car that's there. I take a picture every day. I get up in the morning, take a picture, because I want to document it that we don't have parking. And they dump their vehicles. The tires are flat. Everything. They don't care, because probably they pick up vehicles from the highway. I don't know where they pick them up, but they dump them out in the street. And we had this situation for a long time, and I have proof with also with 311. I called 311. I have a request, and they ticket cars, but it's an ongoing thing, and I shouldn't wake up every day to take pictures. I think that there should be some action taken, and I think we need residential parking. My neighbor has started putting buckets outside. That looks bad for my neighborhood. That is so bad, and I'm here to see what can be done. We need residential parking. My wife, the other day we were on our cars. I was with her waiting for something to open up, because we couldn't go blocks away. We need to stay at least a block away or 2 blocks away from our house. We need something close to our house to park, but we couldn't, because everything was taken. Also, not just the mechanic shops, You know, the church is there also. They just flood the area and they park everywhere. You know, they have their weekly meetings and their in the weekend too, and they have their private lots, but they flood our parking areas. But the biggest concern is to us is that cars being left there for too long. They're abandoned, and that's our big thing. You know, the churches is one thing, but you know, we would really appreciate, you know, me and my already spoke to my neighbors, and I told them they'll be here today. You know, I think they couldn't make it, you know, 'cause they're not here. I invited them, told them to come out and voice also their you know, their concern. But I'm here, and I'm hoping you guys can help us. The council and the mayor, everyone can help us.
Thank you.
It's not in our
Thank you. Well, we have our police officer here that is taking notes to see how he can assist you and
Yes, anything above 53rd isn't the church, but if they
deal
park
with
down
the
they park down his street, his house.
the auto shops as well as the church. We're aware of the auto shops and church that are in that area. So we appreciate the fact that you came by and encourage the other residents to come by as well or contact the town hall. Okay.
We did, Mayor, we did notice with code today, and Robert's talked to me before about this, the parking sign that says no parking and standing is about 2.5 car lengths from the stop sign. And so we should be able to shorten that to make that, you know, probably because it's a one-way. And so it's not an issue of trying to make a turn per se. And so we should be able to shorten that down and pull that down and gain at least a space, maybe a space and a half.
I wonder what the vehicles that are sitting there.
Well,
they
and then so
tagged
what
or
what he's been working with is
they're
Nicole.
legal.
Nicole went out today, and there was one particular car, and she tagged it. I believe it's ready
Yeah,
for
she tagged
getting towed eventually now to get out of the way.
So it might be
Yeah,
permit
thank you
parking
for
that
that.
they need to
And
look into.
And then Nicole is
If the rest of the
concentrating on
residents
the.
want to do
Right,
that.
so he might need that information to
Because
permit
that,
parking.
if the residents agree to that,
Yeah.
also the positive and the negative, that means that they will be getting tickets if they don't have a sticker, a visitor's pass, and if that car is parked and we start tagging vehicles parked over 48 hours, they're subject to the same rules.
The residents in this case can't petition for a permit parking on that street. And the reason because the residents
Not
are in the
all.
unincorporated
Yeah. not all.
county. So
Edmiston.
that's not an option for them to do
Yeah.
that request. But Nicole has stepped up enforcement, and I believe
And
the police department has too.
We'll push more
And
patrol through that area.
she has identified the 2 businesses to work with the number of cars that they have
Because they're
on their
businesses,
property,
yeah.
and whether they're legally licensed and being worked on, or whether they're not. And so that will help some. It's not going to be an immediate, but it'll help
Right.
some. The sign movage will help you at least with one spot immediately.
So I'm a little confused though. Is 5301 Decatur, is that part of that's unincorporated, so
Correct.
that's not part
Correct.
of Edmiston?
That house,
Correct.
all residents, that belongs to the county. The
Right.
street
But
belongs
the
to us.
businesses are ours.
It's the same way with the Decatur Street where he's talking about from 53rd on up the hill to Edmondson
To
Road.
that, yeah.
That's county.
That's county.
Right, okay.
And that plus that issue as far as parking and like with Phillips, the 66, and the
Kennel Reserve.
and the other one next door. That's been going on since and all Tulnaloo. That's been going on since when Chief Walker was here.
They park outside our
Yeah,
jurisdiction.
and so he had MVA come out and check on a lot of those vehicles to find out if they've been worked on, whatever. But it's not too much that they could really do, because I mean, they sit on his property. And he can say, "Well, we're working on these." They can sit there forever, you know. And then also the issue on Decatur, in Emerson, a lot of people from the apartments where I live, they park along there too
They also
because of the
park-
parking.
They park in his neighborhood too.
Yeah, so
They come all the way down.
yeah,
So,
so it's an overflow of parking. So if it says you can't park there, people gonna park. They're gonna park where they can park, as long as there's no sign saying that they can't do it. You know, you find a space, you find
It's
a
about
space.
10 homes on there.
So can the
not sure.
can the
Yeah.
town automatically designate it
About
as
10.
permit parking without a petition?
If you choose to, but
But we
let me
don't
take
have
a
any
look. I know you
residents.
have your own system for setting it up,
Right.
but usually the town would also retain the ability to do it on its own if it wanted to, so let me
What about-
check.
even if
I
it's
would not.
unincorporated?
Oh, no, not outside.
Yeah, it's outside. That's not.
No. The street's in
No.
the town.
The street's ours.
Both sides of the street is in the town. There's only one side parking. One side is no parking.
Okay.
All the way the block.
But if you don't have support by the individuals that live along those blocks for permit parking, you're gonna hear a whole lot about it.
Now, how would that work with, they're not residents,
Wait a minute.
but they are having issues with parking if we put a,
That's unincorporated.
He's in the unincorporated
he's in
his
the
house.
unincorporated
Oh, okay.
part. But
I
his
see.
street
He
is
can't
our
get,
town
yeah, he
Oh,
can't
oh.
get, he could not get a permit, generally speaking,
from us.
from you because you give permits to
residents.
residents.
And
So
his
this is like a
address
total
falls into the county.
catch-22
It
situation.
kind of is, unless you
Like,
fix it.
So
I mean, you
this
can
is like
fix
the
it.
parking lot is in.
By
It's
annexation.
Edmonston and
Well, that's
Three
one way
Brothers
you could
Right,
just,
is in
you could just
Bladensburg.
allow certain others
But,
to get a permit.
but
Okay.
could we still
Okay.
put residential parking there?
You can put residential parking there. You could also make it part of the residential parking permit plan for that area, that individuals who
Because-
live
because we
along
own the
that
street.
block, who are not actually in town, can also get a permit to be there. I mean, you could do
Right.
that.
I would support that.
And give,
Yeah.
they get.
So that
get
way
a
we
waiver.
could designate, so we're talking about being able to
Park
put
in
up
front of their
permit
house.
only
Yeah.
signs on your street, even
our
though your
street.
house isn't part of Edmonston. And then we would just amend our
But
parking plan to allow us to give permits to non-residents for particular situations like yours.
part of the problem is though those houses all have driveways. So they all have the ability to have multiple cars off the street for each house. It's just the fact that each house
Has so
has
many
more
cars.
cars than they have driveway space. And so that's what
Like
pushes
everyone
them
else.
on
Is that your
to the
situation
street.
too?
Yeah, for my house, I actually got for 3 cars, but we have 2 more vehicles. They're my mom and then my brother, so they have to park outside. So, but my neighbors, I got 2 neighbors next to me. They don't have a driveway. I have the rest do. As it goes down the slope, they have driveways. But the ones that are sitting in the on the top, they don't have driveways.
So would time restricted parking help the situation? If you put up a sign that said no parking between the hours of 7 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Sure.
But how would that work if he's off that day? He's gonna get a ticket.
No, I understand
Okay.
that there's
Yeah, that would be.
leeches and
Right,
complications have been. I'm just
Yeah.
saying. That's why I'm just throwing it out. Is that an option?
But we do that in, we have that in some of our other.
Like on Ingraham. On
we have
Ingraham,
that
you
there.
know, they have to clear
Yeah.
the street at
And we have that in the other commercial areas.
right.
All, they have to clear out at a certain
Right.
time.
Right.
And that's
Sorry.
almost a commercial area
Yeah,
with
all-
the
That wouldn't
Is-
help them in the daytime, like Sergeant says,
But we
but it
could.
would help at night.
It's a
Yeah,
possibility.
because after certain hours, they have to be gone.
yeah. If not, you get towed.
Yeah. Okay. So, can you fill that sheet out? Is there a sheet there?
I think you did.
You filled it out? Mm-hmm.
No,
No.
No, the sign-in sheet.
Oh, yeah, I did already.
Okay, because we need to talk with you in reference to talking with your neighbors. We really do want to help you as well as your neighbors, And it may be that we could provide you more
really need a
assistance,
consensus
but
in that
we
law.
need more of a sign-on with your neighbors. So as we go through our budget process, we'll be able to talk more about that.
The area
So
that
in
we
the
wouldn't be
meantime-
able to help, although they could have some conversations potentially, I guess, with the county, is from 53rd up to Edmonston Road on Decatur.
But until then, sir, we'll do the best we can. We'll patrol through that area and we'll check vehicles.
Thank you.
Nicole is too,
Yeah.
so.
So both code and the police will help you as best we can.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
And have you gone to the county also? Because you said 53rd up to, what's that?
Edmonston Road.
Emerson
Emerson
Road
Road.
is county property.
Right.
County,
So if he goes to the
But it's also
county,
public
how would
parking,
they,
too.
I mean,
Right.
what would they do?
Not
if
too
it's
much
not,
of
if
They
it's
do permit
not a
parking
lot.
or whatever
If
they-
there-
Yes.
if
Have
it's
you
not a
gone to the
stolen
county?
vehicle,
I
Have you talked to the
actually-
county?
When they built the road, when they finished the road, I spoke to several persons. They said they couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
As far as putting limitations on speed bumps too, because they'd be speeding a lot in front of my house. But they said they couldn't do anything.
So that's why I want to tell you, we're going to get back in touch with you, because that's a wonderful thing about our municipality, okay? Being able to come to meetings and talk with the mayor and council.
You know, you can buy a
Have
house
a
in
police
Edmonston if you
department.
want.
So we will talk to you
It's
soon,
always a
okay?
choice.
Okay, thank
right.
you.
Thank you. Thanks for
All right,
coming.
thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
Surely all the two
That's
he
what,
like.
we should build a municipal parking lot that people have to pay to park in.
Should have meters.
To
They just
gener-
did it in College Park,
Yeah.
right there behind the new CVS. It's really
generate
nice.
revenue.
yeah, it's
what it
Yeah.
is areas where you have all the commercial vehicles,
Thank you.
Good night. Thank you.
all the residents that
And
live
in
there that have
response to the
commercial
other
vehicles would
question,
park here.
section
Eliminate all that from
435-11,
where you're at.
the mayor and council can establish
That's-
permit parking if they care to, without a petition. So,
They're not charter.
There should be
No,
no
could we
problem.
put-
I mean,
Even
permit
though
because
it's-
it's
even though it belongs to the county?
streets in the town. That's
Could
No,
we
only
put
on-
a
only on town
sign
streets.
that says
Okay.
residential parking only on that particular street? It's a street. It's our street.
How do you prove residential only though? How do you, if
But-
you mark it as residential only parking, how do you prove that the car sitting there is a resident?
You run the tags. Tags have to come back to a resident.
match the
or a-
resident.
Match their address in the house.
That's a Sue Ellen
But-
question.
But the thing is,
what
in
you
that
generally are gonna
particular
do,
block,
what you generally do is, the way that those things get enforced is, certain times a day, it's all times a day even, it's permit parking, but then you are allowed maybe to park up to 2 hours if you're not a resident.
right.
And there's all sorts of ways to arrange it so that you get rid of the traffic that you don't want.
right?
Whether it's traffic that comes and camps out for weeks, or traffic that just comes during the workday because they're hitting the metro station nearby, or whatever it happens to be, there's a way to arrange it. Combining
To find out all
you know,
peak
hours of
hours.
parking and when you have to have a permit and when you don't. So there's a way to do it.
So, I'm
It is a
wondering
business.
if,
It's all of the TAs in front of his house that park behind. And every so often we do go through there and we pick up dead tags. Cars have been there for months, but we have to tag them, give them an opportunity to move them. And I've personally went and talked to the gentlemen at the TAs that are pretty much in front of the gas station. That's all of them. They all park. When they run out of spaces where they can't move their cars around, they throw them in the back and they leave them there. I've recovered stolen vehicles from back there. It's just a dumping spot at a lot of the repair shops. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and a tire repair shop. So I have 6 businesses that are in that one little strip alone. And they do not have the place or the spaces to park their vehicles. And what they do at night, they move the cars and put them out there. And if they come back stolen, it doesn't come back pickup orders on the tags. We can tag them, but we can't really do anything to them. Unless we had something that says, hey, no parking. You're not a resident. That car doesn't come back to a residence in this town. I don't,
Yeah.
How would that work if it's?
You have to have permit parking. You can't,
Right.
you can't just say parking on these streets is just for residents, because Roads are for the use of the public.
Right.
Okay, so you have to have a system
The permit
that,
parking.
of permit parking or something like that, and set your hours.
Now,
You can't just start blanket saying nobody gets to park here except people who live here,
well, I know in bulk.
unless you got a really good reason.
In some places you have permits, but the permits are for that particular block. And then if you're in
Yeah.
a different block, that's the permit for that block.
Mm-hmm, that happens too.
So it links to your address and the block that your address is in.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're outside of your permit zone, you're then subject to
A
parking
ticket.
outside of your zone.
Yeah.
And that's a ticket. And they used to do that a lot around Johns Hopkins Hospital for parking.
And that's a really severe permit system.
Yeah.
But that's what they needed there because it's so bad there.
It's
And you have
so-
to show that you're not doing something that's more than is needed. That's what you
Right.
should do anyway. But yeah, there's a way to set up permit parking so that you can solve this problem, or at least get a handle on it better, so that you're not having people. Because for one thing, you can keep ticketing anybody that's got the vehicle there that doesn't have the permit, which sounds like what these businesses are doing. They're just
what
parking
they
them
do,
there.
we'll give them a ticket. Like when I'm done with the meeting, I'm gonna go down there and see what I can do. I'll issue tickets, and then they'll move them in the morning and day shift. Probably won't see that vehicle, and then they'll put it back out.
Ticket.
So they're playing leapfrog
Yeah.
with us. So we're trying to catch
Yeah.
the vehicles actually there.
Is that street wide enough to do parking on both sides?
Because
it's a one-way.
It's one way, but it's wide enough that the residents park cars on both sides, and you can drive down. Now,
Because that's
a
another
larger
avenue to
vehicle,
look at.
no,
Yeah.
you wouldn't be able to.
Well, but you could eliminate trucks. You can eliminate trucks on a residential street, right? So
Yeah, trucks can't.
Well, you can
commercial in
live
a
in-
residential zone.
Yeah, passing through, as
Yeah.
long as they have another route to take.
yeah, so Kenilworth obviously or Edmonston Road.
Right.
So it's only one block.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Not a big
But
block. is it?
it's
no.
The
but
thing
we
is-
also have that also has TAs. So if I stop a vehicle there, it could always say he's making a delivery, so I can't get him for like if he's going through the town.
You know, I'm not talking about enforcing the truck traffic. I'm just talking about adding parking.
Right.
So
right.
if
So
you
that-
park on
Yeah.
both
Both
sides of the
sides.
streets, then you've got double the parking that you currently have.
You are going to have people who want to deliver
Yeah.
on that street and won't be able to get in there. You
'Cause
shouldn't
it's too
stop
tight.
that.
No, like
no,
a
we
UPS
just-
truck or a FedEx truck, that would not be a problem at all.
Yeah.
Well, even a moving truck. I mean,
Or a moving
Yeah.
truck. Yeah, they'd be trucks and everything would be able to get down it, but I'm
Okay.
just saying it's not a through street. It comes to a dead end, and you have to turn and go back to Kenilworth.
Yeah.
And so it's not a widely used thoroughfare
No, it doesn't sound
for any reason particularly.
It's just the residents' traffic mainly.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and also I wanted to say something when he said the neighbor put buckets out. That doesn't mean anything.
Nope.
Because you can move those buckets and park because it's public
Public
parking.
street. Right.
you
We,
know, so.
we have this issue throughout the community, actually.
Yeah.
And ours isn't the only one that's affected by this, because everyone is increasing their amount of vehicles that they're driving because of the increase of people that are
population.
staying into
Yeah.
these homes. But I really believe that we need some type of parking task force that can, we already talked about checking out our signs that are throughout the town, but really going over our parking rules, regulations, and enforcing, being more forceful with our auto shops and those kind of things. So I really think we need to concentrate on a task
Yeah,
force.
our
Get some
problem areas are-
residents and some professionals. to-
Our biggest
police
problem areas are
department
where
take
the
care of.
commercial bleeds into
Into
the
the
residential.
Right, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like Crittenton, like 53rd, like over on Gallatin and Hamilton.
Well, yeah, we had a big problem there until we just started.
I just think
it
we need
just
to
started hammering.
get a group.
We did
to
find the
concentrate on
inventory,
that.
so we have the inventory of the signs now, and so
Okay.
we can move. You know, if you want to do that,
And I
we,
know Sergeant Young we
Yeah,
had talked about it for a
I-
while and wrote some things down, and
I actually planned that this week, if I get a chance when I come back this week, I'm just gonna ride through town and just start marking places that are missing signs, and because there is that discrepancy on Crittenden in reference to what's residential and what's non-residential. I mean, we talked about it before, that
One block.
One block is,
permit,
but
and
the
then-
other two aren't, and that's a lot of dispute because
I think it'll be great if you have a resident, business owner, a business representative in it as well.
well, the
maybe
problem
even
are
council.
the businesses because this is where we're having the issues that where they bleed over. Crittenden, you got all the businesses on Buchanan that come back and park into the residential area, and then on Lafayette, you got all of them that park down on Hamilton and Gallatin because they have 8 workers, but no place for them to park, so they park in the residential areas. And now, when you come home, they're still at the auto shop. You can't even come down your street because cars are there.
Sergeant, do
And
you
know,
I
you-
think we're gonna have. I completely agree that we need to maybe tighten this up sooner than later because the minute that I know the purple line is a little ways off, but I think that like those
That is
stations.
going to be an issue because it's coming right
Right.
down the street
Right. I mean, people are just gonna start parking in our neighborhood
and walking down there.
Because it's not made for
But
parking.
remember, folks, you have at least two agreements with commercial establishments on 46th Avenue that provides them parking spaces in the residential area.
That's
One
that
of them
for-
pays and one of them doesn't.
That's what the task force.
I'm just saying, so,
Yeah.
a glass contractor sends you a check for $275 every month and they get 10 parking spaces for that.
Now, are they getting parking passes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Doyle Printing is part of the keeping Doyle Printing here. They got
Well,
X
they have
number.
a lot.
They have a whole parking lot.
Yeah,
I understand, but at some point in time in economic development, you made an agreement with them that you would give them X number of parking spaces. So the task force idea is a really super idea because I got a call from another business on 46th Avenue. Can we buy 2 parking spaces in the residential area? And so I told them,
So can I ask Sergeant Young that you gather up a few people and just let us know? Your task
What-
force made up of community members, at least one council member, police department.
We'll see who wants to.
And
because you remember you had the lady that was from 51st Avenue last month, was it, or the month
Oh, yeah.
before? She wanted to talk about permit parking on 51st Avenue. I had a question for Sue Ellen,
Oh, is it 51st or 47th?
51st. And Nicole had a UNO that came in today from a new business on Kenilworth. And the UNO said parking spaces 0. So does that mean that business needs no parking spaces and it's a car repair shop?
So,
That's unusual.
yeah.
To have 0 parking spaces required, that's 0 required parking
you
spaces.
have to ride a bike
Or do they have
inside.
ample parking
garage.
space within the
It's the
facility?
one by Altoon's Lube. Do they have ample parking space?
No, so basically
Oh.
they're doing what they're always these
Hold up, beside
businesses.
Some of these ones that have been there a
so
long
talking about
time get away
BJ's?
with that.
It's,
these businesses
no,
are so
no.
close together. They're using each other's
other's-
parking
yeah.
spaces.
Meritech.
Yeah.
Hold up,
But
so
anyway,
it's
I
not,
just had
it's
a
not the
question.
one all to, so it's the one right
There's
next
3
to
of them right there in that spot.
Okay, that, okay, it's some funny business.
But we
going
see
on
that
there.
often,
it's like 3 of
so
them, I
on,
think,
on
right there
a
in that
use
spot.
and occupancy where it'll have parking spaces required and it'll have 0, but yet it's a commercial business that's got to have parking spaces to do business.
Because he's actually using it. Because the business you talking about, that guy, he had the business next door. And 2 of his workers, 2 Spanish guys, I believe they got the business now, and he just went next door. So he might say he doesn't need space because he uses the space anyway.
Yeah, but this is the parking spaces they get is tied to their zoning and use and
Right,
occupancy.
it is.
It's not related to whether
Sometimes
they
if
use
there
them or not.
there are businesses that have been there for a really long time and they pre-existed the time when the county started to require parking spaces, sometimes they get grandfathered like
Okay.
that. So
I
if
was
it's been there a
curious.
really
Now,
long
would that
time,
affect them parking off
It's
into
like, yeah.
onto the roadways and stuff, or is that just the parking lot itself? that they
Well,
have
remember,
so
we
many-
It's however
had
many
the
spaces
problem
they
with
have to
selling
provide.
cars, right?
Oh, and
but
they're
it
like-
doesn't
Same thing,
include,
same
yeah, it
guy.
doesn't include street.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
So the next item is consideration approval of the minutes. Hopefully everyone has reviewed their minutes for the council meeting. Our closed session meeting for January 26th.
I have a question. Since I wasn't here, and I take it Sophia wasn't here either, are we just supposed to abstain from voting on those minutes since we weren't here to know?
Do you want to? You can. I can do it individually.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe we could just do two separate batches. That'd be good. Okay.
Also the work session for February 5th. And then the closed session for February the 5th. So since Ms. Tuberville brought that up, is there a motion?
What up?
Her not being available for the closed session on January 26th.
16.
I'm sorry. That one. Council meeting. I'm just going to do them individually as opposed to all together. Is there a motion to approve the regular council meeting minutes for January the 16th? And is there a motion to approve?
Yeah, I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
Any abstentions?
I'll abstain.
Oh, wait, no. I should say, wait a minute. Who was that, Johnson? What's her- And then, yes, any abstentions?
I abstain.
Right? How do you vote, Ms. B?
For the legislative meeting, January 16th, I wasn't there, so I abstained. I was there for the work session, but not for the meeting. So my vote would be abstain. I'm not gonna.
There's not a work session over here.
How do you vote, Johnson?
Excuse me?
How do you vote?
Aye.
And Ms. White, how do you vote?
Aye.
I guess
Yeah.
you vote aye.
Flip a coin.
No, you don't have to vote. It passed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Abstain,
Right?
right.
Wait a minute. So someone's looking at me.
I'm not gonna say anything because there's not much you
Just
can
not
do
a
about it,
vote.
but you've got
Abstaining.
5 people here and you've got 2 people voting of the 5.
Okay, the
When you
mayor
said
vote?
abstain is not a vote, so,
She's not breaking a tie or anything.
yeah, so abstaining is not a vote, so it passes.
I mean,
So, no.
I mean, they didn't, well. Closed session
We'll just treat them as not being here at all.
at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they were absent. It was just.
Yeah, we're just gonna treat them as not being here at all.
So, next item is closed session meeting for January 26th. Is there a motion to approve the closed
January.
session for January 26th?
16. 16.
No, I'm at the closed session meeting for January 26th.
16.
16th.
Mine says the 26th.
Must got a special paper.
I'm sorry, that's not correct.
See?
Did I type 16 by
You might
mistake?
have. It was the 16th.
I must have hit it too.
Mm-hmm.
My bad. Okay. Oh no.
It's a
Don't worry
senior,
about
it's a
you.
senior moment, Mayor.
Yes. My editing. Is there a motion? Was that you, Johnson?
Yes. Yeah, I
Is there a second?
I second. Is it a closed
Thank
session?
you.
Yeah, the closed session.
Are there any abstentions?
No.
No, we're just pretend we're not
All
here.
right.
Remember, that's what we're doing.
All in favor?
Aye.
There is abstention. Okay, keep going. All right. Next section. Work session, February the 5th. Is there a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve February 5th.
Is there a second?
Second.
Woo! All in favor?
Aye.
Work session is approved. Closed session for February the 5th. There's a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve
Johnson's on the
February
roll.
5th. Close the meeting session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great. Next item is the consideration of
I have a
agreement.
question.
Uh-huh.
Did we have a work session on the 8th? Did we not have that day?
No,
What did I put? I want to make sure.
it was on the 5th.
We were going to have a budget work session.
That's what.
Oh, I'm
And you-
so glad somebody else had a moment.
And you decided to combine it with the later one.
Okay, I just want to make.
So you weren't-
I didn't
you weren't-
erase it.
Yeah, you weren't wrong.
As
You
far
wasn't
off
absent.
as I was.
No, I wasn't erasing.
Because remember, we changed everything. Everything will be 5:30, 5:30, 5:30.
In March.
Yeah.
The consideration of agreement for EcoSite Inc. for the on-call engineering services that we went over in our work session on the 5th. Right?
With,
Correct.
Right.
Mike, yeah.
Is there a motion to approve that agreement?
Yeah, I'll make a motion, we approve the agreement with EcoSite.
Second.
Any discussion?
This is just about the fees, right?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Motion passes. All right. We have our Sergeant Young here representing the police department with a report, hopefully. If not, it's okay.
You can just tell us how you're feeling
I
about
mean,
things.
you
Do not
gave
have
some
one
really
today,
good
but
feedback.
I would really get one. I will try my best to get one to you guys.
No,
tomorrow.
you gave some really good feedback about the parking. Your presence here tonight is great. Captain is out on
Sick.
rest, sick. So thank you for being here tonight.
I will say if anybody has anything that I can add notes to, well, I'm all ears.
Thank you.
I have a
Admin.
code report for you tonight, Your Honor. Nicole's been working hard on writing a number of violations at different locations, vehicles, wood and yard, open storage. She went to court on January 16th for the lot at Tanglewood and Buchanan. They rescheduled because the ownership got recorded and it was transferred from the previous owner to the new owners. The current owners are trying to force an eviction on one of the businesses there that stores some of the junk vehicles, so she's continuing to monitor that. She did 6 rental inspections. She wrote a number of parking tickets. She followed up on Buchanan Street. She identified some new businesses that are cleaning out their space, so they'll come in and pay their new business license. Table Manners is one of our companies over in the industrial park on 46th Avenue, and they bought a building that used to be a print shop and are remodeling it, and so they're obtaining their county permits and will be in to get their building permits from us, but they're good folks, really excited about being a part of the community. 5009 Decatur Street, the hearing to finalize the buyer on it got postponed yesterday, so still in progress. The property at 4803 52nd Place, which is a corner property, is the owner is now interested in selling it, but she has registered it as a vacant property. The property at 4804 Decatur, the electrical permits have been obtained and they're waiting on the plumbing permits. In the meantime, she has re-registered the property as vacant and she believes that they will be completed by spring of this year. The owners at the empty lot on Emerson that's for sale, they removed the bricks and they removed the loader.
When?
Last week. So she's very excited
sure?
about that. Yeah, she's very sure about that. She's been
It's
talking
still
to
there.
Okay, well then
I
maybe
thought-
she's
I
looking at
was
the
gonna
wrong
say.
lot.
She must be because it's, it's still there. Them bricks.
Okay.
'Cause
On our street?
That was, right
Emerson.
out here, all the way up on the corner. I mean, that little
Yep.
dirt.
Yep.
It's still there.
All right, I'll have her check
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah, it's still there.
And then she has a
So I
major
know I've
goal.
seen
She's working on her certification with the International Code Council, but she also has a major goal to clean up Kenilworth 66 and Kenilworth Service with their cars that are there at that lot. So busy, 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 busy.
What's the deal with that house on 53rd and Emerson? That empty house across from.
That's the one. That's the one that's the lady's trying to. That's 4803 52nd Place. They're the lady's either going to sell it or update and remodel it.
It needs it because it's right now it looks like a fire trap.
Yeah.
I mean, if you actually look at it,
The only vacant down there.
yeah, it looks like. Because you if you look, you stand in front of the house and look, you can see through the house, through the cracks and whatnot.
It's deteriorated.
Yeah,
Something.
It's got
something
severe
awful.
damage.
Yeah.
And what's the deal with that?
It's registered
The
as
red
vacant.
house, the one supposed to be getting torn down.
Yeah, the red house. I sent the final notice out to the owner to say that we were moving forward with the actual bids for demolition. He approved the specifications, so I'll be bringing that back to you, and
Yeah,
Sue
what-
Ellen will be reviewing that to make sure we followed all the proper steps in the process.
Yeah, but that lot up the street, it hasn't been touched.
Okay, they were up there working. The truck was there, so I know they were
When?
there Thursday.
I'd like to know what they did, because I walk past there every day. Oh, Mr. Doyle.
The truck was there Thursday, was the, working on the people's house.
Oh, okay.
They had pulled it up in there and got stuck and they had to get a crane to tow it out.
Ah.
The bricks that are missing is where they put underneath the truck.
Ah.
They get it out of the mud
Oh.
and they couldn't. So
Okay.
they left the bricks right there in that big hole where they had the tires.
Ah, okay,
That's where the bricks are.
okay.
Yeah, 'cause
Wow,
that
Nicole-
loader's still
The one
there
was
and
working
still
on-
bricks still there.
Nicole was so
The
excited, she thought that
truck
they were
has been-
gone.
that goes there is working on the basement of the house.
They still working on that sump pump? Jeez.
Yes, sir. That's how I
Neighborhood,
got stuck Sunday or Thursday because they were loading bricks or cement and stuff in the back of the truck and
It got too
loaded down
heavy
in
or
that
something.
mud.
neighborhood watch. I did we have a major problem with our public works building. The floor has sunk, and in some cases it's sunk as much as 4 feet separated from the support beams and the columns. And so I had a company there today.
From the last flood.
I had a company there today that's looking at what it'll take to potentially jack it back up, re-pour the floor, deal with the drainage water issues, and so not going to be a cheap.
It's not in the area where they did their work, is it?
No. This has been ongoing for a
Oh.
long time.
Nah, I'm just.
The building, the floor in the back corner of it has, it's like this, and then the floor in the side where the police have their storage, you step down 2 inches just to walk in the door, and then this now, the back of it, the side of it has tilted, so the architect believes that it's a underlying water issue below
Yeah,
the whole building.
Yeah,
And
everything on
so-
that backside is a
Right,
water issue.
Right, and so they're gonna take a look at giving us proposals on what that would be.
They flooded
Maybe
pretty good.
the solution is the building goes down and another
Well,
building
yeah, right.
comes up, and so,
Yeah, cause that thing is old. Cause I used to get I used to play
I knew you had.
boys
I
club.
knew you
I used to
did.
go down and get equipment. That's how old that place is.
I told him that. I said, Mr. Johnson remembers that as a kid. So,
Yeah, so
yeah, so that project will be forthcoming. Tomorrow they're gonna fix the parking lot where apparently over the years where buildings set when they put asphalt in, they put it around the building instead of inside the building too, and so there's a lot of unevenness out there, and so they're going to fix that for us. And they're fixing the speed bump on 51st to make it bigger and wider and to paint it so that potentially people will notice it a little bit
did
more.
you say anything to Michael and Son about that patch job?
Yes, we are arguing. Michael and Sons was the one that put in the charging station,
Right.
so we're arguing back and forth about the bill and about that work
Yeah,
that they
because
did. It sunk.
Yeah. So is the charging station up and going now?
Yes. Yeah, we haven't got the credit card hooked up yet.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah,
So-
but you can use the station. Nicole's using it for our car, so.
Oh, so you can use the station, but
We
the
haven't
credit card part isn't working.
We haven't activated the credit card part.
Oh, yeah, because see, somebody can just pull up and charge
They
up
could.
for free, right?
They could.
But they don't know.
Well,
it's
he's
there
shaking his
yet.
head no. Which one?
They don't know.
Yeah.
He's
I mean,
saying no.
we haven't advertised it yet.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
thought, yeah.
yeah, it isn't out on the grid yet, so no one's going to really know it's there unless they pull in our parking lot. Yeah, I was going to say, Councilmember Bennett White didn't realize what it was.
no clue.
But anyway, it's been a really difficult project. They started with the electrical bid. They were going to just do what was there and install the things. Then they came back and nope, it was too small. We needed to do more electrical. So it's been a real back and forth, and we're arguing with Michaels in a big way. I won't be having them back to do any work for
Yeah,
us.
they were in the news, I think last week or 2 weeks ago. Their company, I think they did. It was some kind of fatal accident, and it involved Michael and Son.
Oh wow.
I forgot exactly what it was, but I remember
fatal.
seeing it on the news.
And so the loading zone over on Wyndham is being also put in tomorrow, and weather permitting. They completed the project. If you haven't got a chance to walk over to 49th and by Decatur from La Fondita to the levee, they did the sidewalks. It was probably the best construction job I think I've ever seen completed.
Over by the gazebo?
No, on 49.
49th going up.
From La Fondita back to the levee,
Both sides.
both sides of the street.
Sidewalks.
They replaced the sidewalks.
49. With Christopher used to, or whatever.
Yes, but the block towards the levee.
Where La
From La
Fondita
Fondita
is.
is
Oh,
Decatur.
The restaurant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
Okay.
they just did a phenomenal
They really did.
job.
And it was
really good.
quick.
The residents, complimented them. So the next project, if we're able to budget, is your street, Taylor, to do the sidewalk from Decatur down to Lafayette, and to put a crosswalk and ramps there. So
Crosswalk would be good
That'll
for the
help,
kids, because a lot of
yeah,
kids that.
isn't that where they congregate for the bus?
Yeah.
The bus
Several
drops them
schools,
off.
actually.
right.
That's the one bus stop for several schools.
One of the things I wondered if we should have a conversation about is in the rain the other day, the elementary children had walked to the bus stop here at 52nd and Decatur, and some of them had umbrellas, but some of them didn't. And I was just thinking if there would be a way that maybe we could do some kind of shelter that did like an L shape with just, like a open, but with a roof, because we don't want to create any kind of hangout spot. But they're just standing there. I think this was actually not the elementary students. This was the middle school and high school. So there's only about 15 of those, 12 of those. And I'm guessing the same thing happens over at Lafayette and
There's just
Taylor.
a place, if
They
there's
just stand in the rain.
Yeah.
My son
Stand
called
in
to
the
yell
rain.
at me because I took the umbrella with me, but he never takes it. So I took it because he never takes it, and I always get wet because I leave it there for him. But then when I come back, it's still sitting in the same spot. So he called me to yell at me, "Mom, why'd you take the umbrella? It's pouring down raining." Then his issue was my pants are going to get wet. Well, the umbrella doesn't save your pants. What are you talking about?
My pants.
But maybe we could do, try to get sponsorships from businesses to put their ads on it or something, and tasteful
Yeah, because in
ways.
Bladensburg, I know most of the bus stops in Bladensburg have got some type of advertisement.
Our
And if-
sidewalks large
Yeah.
enough?
Yeah,
Wide
but
enough?
most of them, most
I don't know
of
if they're
those
wide enough.
shelters are
Here
being
would
eliminated
probably-
because Metro eliminated a
probably have to
whole
put it
bunch of
somewhere
them.
else.
Yeah. What qualifies us for a crossing guard?
School.
Public school.
They
don't
got
have
But
one
what
up.
qualifies you? I mean, because there's a reason why I would think that we don't have one.
Because we don't have
Like,
a
is it a
school.
certain number of, a school, period?
We don't have a school where the kids have to
Within
walk
that-
across a main thoroughfare.
And plus
So
the way
we
the
won't get county, if I'm not here, county will not come and be on any streets in town because we
Like
don't
the
have a
school
school.
has to be right there.
Yeah, like
within
Riverdale
there.
Road
Yeah.
and Tanglewood,
they got one.
they have an assigned county crossing guard on both ends, from one end of Riverdale and then on Taylor Road, because it's a school and it's a main thoroughfare where they need crossing guards there.
Same thing with the Bladensburg High School. They have a
Well, and
crossing
plus
guard right
the
there,
way
too.
the school bus
Right,
comes
yeah,
to
it
pick
has
the
to
kids
be
up.
Yeah,
It's the way they angle it. You got to stop no matter what.
Well,
So,
they've
and that's
they've
the-
gotten smarter over the years because before they would just stop at the stop sign
right, and traffic will
and
go.
traffic would go.
Right, but now if you angle it, they had no choice but to stop.
And
plus you got
I have no qualms with them blocking that intersection and allowing the kids to get on the bus.
Right.
And when they don't, I write tickets.
I have requested from the state shelter tops at the bus stops on Kenilworth. The one at across from Three Brothers and the one up here across from Sunoco. But they're going through a process, so we're on the list. But
Oh,
that
so
Metro's buses.
across from Three Brothers, there's no shelter for the
Oh.
bench and the bus stop, and there's none at Decatur and Kenilworth on that one either.
Well, when they first was doing the 201 project, it's supposed to have been one on both sides across from the Fountain Park. But Metro came in and they were eliminating
They did.
all those shelters. You know,
Yeah, the county's doing it.
which doesn't make sense because like further down, like let's say where the 7-Eleven is, 7-Eleven, the drive-through liquor store, Chop Tank, there would be ladies with kids in the rain, nowhere to sit down.
Well,
you
they
know.
had them at first, and then they
Yeah, they took
them
them out. But I don't know if because a lot of it was, a lot of the guys was hanging out at them, drinking. But it's not only here, they eliminate a lot of them in DC too.
I think they break them. That's what I don't like
Well,
about them.
Well, there's one over by the McDonald's. That
And they
one
break
pane
them.
gets knocked out a lot.
Yeah.
It may not be a good
The
idea.
next
but
one's
it's
on
just
Edmonston Road.
I mean, a
observation.
shelter
it
without the
should-
glass
yeah.
to me would be great.
And then the way they design it doesn't really
warm.
keep you out the rain anyway.
a little bit.
Doesn't keep you warm if it doesn't have the glass.
It
but
doesn't actually really
keeps you
keep you
warm.
dry either, because of the way it's built and the size.
You got
You
to
know,
go all the
so-
way in the corner.
Now, a few years back, they had better ones, but they took them out. And then they installed the ones that's there now. Those aren't that good, and now they're eliminating those because all up and down Kenilworth Avenue, there's no place. You got to stand for the bus. There's nowhere to sit no more. So, which doesn't make sense, but that's Metro.
Okay.
So if we looked into it, it seems like having it in the spot that's squarely in Edmonston, because close to where Sophia's house is, like, that's where Riverdale and Edmonston, and a lot of those kids are coming from Riverdale. So if we did something there, I would think we'd want to do some kind of cost sharing.
Locally, we probably could do something, you know, like within the town.
That's what I mean about
Yeah.
the spot that's up here
Yeah.
on 52nd and Decatur.
That's too small, I think,
So-
for anything.
But it's so
So
tight.
small.
Yeah.
Yeah, sticky, and there's no.
It
there
is
really
so
isn't a
tight
spot
on that
for it.
intersection.
Because you
It
have
would
to
be a
take
safety hazard.
wherever you erect it, you're gonna be going on somebody's property.
That and you can't
Well, we
turn.
do have a easement on.
Yeah, we do, and what you can, yeah, remember, we're building sidewalks on there, and we're not going on private property, so
Yeah.
there's room. It just doesn't appear to be room because of what's there today.
now, right?
But the other thing is you could maybe put it over the sidewalk and just, it's a walkthrough. You know, it's just a roof. I mean,
Well, maybe we should wait until the Safe
shade
Streets thing is built.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you
You
mean
know,
just
and
like
then we
mainly
can
just a
absolutely-
canopy?
yeah, just a
just-
canopy that you can stand
Right.
under.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Without
that
glass.
doesn't have sides or just something
Right.
that you could be under that stop the rain at least a little bit from coming down on you. If it's coming from the side, it wouldn't stop you,
Right.
but
And maybe you could tie it into the little plumber little garden
Yeah.
there, and make a cute little gazebo right there, and the kids could just
Yeah, over there on
Yeah,
on
and that's a
your
little more
side.
space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could be a really
Yeah,
cool.
and then make it look real cute. Yeah, it'd be a nice little welcome spots from when you come down
Right.
from Riverdale
Fair.
into
We disagree
Evanston.
again, Mayor.
Good idea, Sophia.
Maybe there's a grant out there that can.
Said you're fine.
Okay. So, thank you, Mr. Barnes. Council dialogue. Ms. B, you have anything?
Just happy to report that 4908 Taylor Road it's a beauty. You guys should call
On
the
the
realtor
outside
and
it
do a
is.
tour.
Yeah.
Oh, it's absolutely.
Honey,
the house
stop
they
the
rented?
car.
I know,
Huh?
it
Saw
really
the
is.
sign.
Say it again.
It says, "Honey, stop the car."
It's beautiful.
It's what the sign says on the realtor thing. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's the house that was renovated?
Yeah, the burned down. That now is just
Burned.
transformed.
Oh.
They had open house Saturday, so they had
On
lots.
Sunday.
And
yeah.
Sunday too.
Yeah.
The realtor
I missed
said
it.
they had lots and lots of interest, and so
How much they selling it for?
$649.
This is
$649.
649. Yep.
What?
a arm
But
and a
no,
leg.
but
and
you
a-
have to
enough
see
work in there
it.
for
You
it.
have to see it before you judge. It's absolutely.
very much worth
Yeah.
it.
Oh, it's amazing.
What?
You
I'm
have to see
sure.
it. You
It's
have to
big.
see it.
worth
It has a staircase that actually looks like it's floating.
Yeah, it's marble and it has lights on the side.
Marble.
It's like a zillion bathrooms, a zillion. Oh, it's beautiful walk-in closets for us girls who like
I bet
closets.
it is beautiful. 649.
Let me get 3 more families.
So affordable.
Yeah,
lot of money.
that's more than
Yes.
the 2 houses they built across from you.
They're building a third one.
Where?
Yeah, I wanted to raise that during council dialogue, but it,
And also
question
Mr.
about it.
Smith?
during my dialogue,
I'll tell you.
and this probably falls in line with the police department, the corner of. I ain't gonna say it, Mr. Bourne's already laughing. The corner of Decatur and Taylor.
Mr. Durant.
Today it was a hot mess. Most mornings it is. It's like the big moving truck had to back up. So because the metro driver has parked the car and because it was a beautiful day, he's sitting outside enjoying the weather, and everybody's got to be inconvenienced, and he's just sitting there. So if maybe you guys could.
We
thought
get
we
them.
resolved
It's parking, but we get them when we get them. I mean,
It's just such a tight corner.
they sit out there and they shouldn't even park in front
Yeah.
of the building at
Yeah,
all.
why do they do that when they
Because
got
they're
a parking
lazy.
lot? They got
They're
a parking lot
lazy.
right
That's what
there.
gets me. They're lazy.
Because they don't. And until
It has to be
and unless
it's
we
gonna be a
Yeah, it needs to
fatality,
be
and that's when everybody's gonna
enforced.
take it seriously.
we,
It
we
needs to be
can
enforced.
It
If
is
you got a big parking lot right underneath the building, why are you taking up all the space on the side?
because
And
it's
they know
easy.
how to use it because one morning I saw them in the park and I said, "Oh,
yeah, they
finally!"
use it all the
I
time,
said, "Finally!" But they're not consistent. And the guy today, he really upset because he's sitting there enjoying the beautiful weather, and everybody's just, and all of the drivers got to back up and
So we couldn't
accommodate him.
provide, what's the name of the organization?
Oh, that's funny.
Full citizenship.
Yeah, we couldn't provide them a warning or anything.
Something has to be done.
warning as far
I
as
think
for-
so,
If
because
they
they-
don't enforce
they-
it with their metro access.
I've been
That's what
here
it
for
is.
almost 6 years now, and they've been issue and problem. We give them tickets, and they go back to doing it.
Not metro access, full citizenship.
Yeah, we need to send them something, and I don't know what we could do on the other to
Well, you sent
give
them
them
stuff too.
to let them know that, hey, look, this is an issue with
Well,
your
isn't there
service.
signs up there?
They're loading zone signs.
There's a loading zone signs. It doesn't matter. They're going to.
Oh, well, if it's the
we
loading
catch
zones,
them, we now they,
That's what I'm saying. If
they're-
we make full
they're
citizenship
outside
sort of-
the loading zone. That's what it is. That turn is so tight that we had to push the yellow so that vehicles can turn. What they do is because they're dealing with the patients they're dealing with, they pull all the way up because the ramp is
Right
on,
there at the door.
on an odd angle and it pushes it close to the intersection, and then they sit there, and then like Ms. B says, they'll sit there and wait
back a
to the
little
next
further
run.
Yeah, exactly.
until
Yeah.
the patient comes, and then they can move up. But they like to move up
They-
and sit
sit.
there
Yeah, they
instead
Yeah,
of
sit
that's quite
and jump.
inconsiderate. Yeah,
And
just sitting there.
we
But
catch
full
them when we can.
citizenship should
Sometimes
get
we
them.
get there and there's no one there.
and we should get
And
full citizenship.
once in a while, they'll actually call us. A citizen will call and we'll go down there and get them.
Are they idling too?
Oh, they're sitting there idle.
Yeah, they're idling.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that's
But
like
but the rule is if you're outside of the car, idling, that's a ticket. But if you're sitting in the car, I just get you for standing no standing parking. It's different violations. Yeah.
Maybe meeting with Pansy, the manager, might be a way to help have at least a dialogue about trying to get them convinced to move to the underneath the building or to the back of the building. I know she wanted, the vacant lot between them and the house that's being stored because she wanted to make additional parking, but it seems like this keeps coming up over and over and over. So maybe just having a meeting with them to talk about it, to figure out some solutions.
We have a lot of these big places, but
because we've talked about a barrier, we've talked about putting
the streets aren't big enough for a lot of these businesses.
And it's funny, do your neighbors?
Why would they need additional parking? Because anytime I went past that, I've never seen that thing completely full.
They don't say anything to me.
You catch them. If you catch them in the evening when the patients are leaving for the evening, they have Taylor and Decatur, and I've.
Now I'm talking about their parking lot itself. I never seen it completely full.
No, it's never full. It's never. I've never seen it completely full.
It's never completely full. So there should be no problem with going down there.
Yeah, there's no excuse. No, it's just laziness.
They can go into that far parking lot. The one underneath the building is normally the employees. But that metro,
but you got enough room for those vehicles too.
Yeah, they have enough room.
If that's the case, if they worry about getting in and out, you can always designate somebody to control the traffic for them, because just like at an airport, you got taxi cabs. You can do the same thing with the metro access.
But then that would cause another issue with somebody out there with a road guard vest telling people which way to go.
No, you just stop the traffic so they can pull out, so it won't cause the jam. See, you can have somebody. You can designate somebody within the hours of what they're doing. Somebody within their business.
Yeah,
they're just causing their own problem. All they got to do
all they do is drive underneath.
And then it's not really that hard to get in. But you got the stop sign.
Because it's not. I don't think it's causing a traffic jam, but it's annoying. It is causing a traffic jam. I've seen it today. It was a traffic jam.
During the mornings and the evenings.
Yeah, and then he goes backing up. It's ridiculous. One time the school bus had to back up with students on there.
Yeah.
No.
The problem is two-way traffic can't
turn.
Right.
Yeah. Can't turn.
And they're right there at the corner, right there at the stop sign, right there.
And the school buses have to turn to go down that road.
Yeah.
And then also when you come in, it's a blind spot. So you have to be very careful that the car is not oncoming, because right there's a collision. So.
Even at the stop sign.
Let's say if you're coming down and you're like okay, like for example, leaving my house, and there's something that's turning or whatever, and I can't see it.
Oh right.
Yeah. So believe me, I just would hate for something to happen before.
Sounds like a top priority for the parking task force.
Yeah, but I think if we send some kind of serious letter to the company, and
maybe the task force can fix it, huh?
Because it was presented to him.
It might be a minute, anytime.
So so that's how long that I know of that has been going on. So
since Chief Walker, I've been bringing it up.
Yeah, 'cause remember we brung it toward him.
Yeah.
So.
And the thing is,
I think we had a letter for the people, didn't we? Chief Walker said that, something about a letter to give to the people.
But many things were discussed.
That was Captain, I think.
Yeah, so he sent a letter, but I think he came back. But there are times when I would come home from work and I would see the SUV, and of course everybody's obeying the law. So maybe you get like a unmarked car or something, because I said there it is. Nobody's parked today because the SUV's parked.
They know my car already.
Oh, they do?
Yes, ma'am.
Or maybe we come up on patrol, walking.
We also have a minimal amount of staff.
That's
another problem.
I will definitely work on. I'll send out an email to everybody, but I'll be here in the morning. We'll get something.
Yeah, we'll draft a stern letter to the company.
We finished.
That's all I have to say.
Ms. White?
That's all she has to say.
It's a lot, but
you're one subject for 3 hours. Okay, so I had a question, I think, and this is probably for Swell. And we had, so every now and again I review the information that we have, when we have the meeting for the PGMW, they brought up the Open Meetings Act because they're going to bring somebody in to
I guess, go over it with us. Someone's coming in
What's
from there.
PGMW? That's a women?
Yeah,
Prince George
elected
Society,
women.
Municipal Women, yeah. And so they were talking about the Open Meetings Act. And I know one of the things, and one of the council sent this to me, and I guess I had to look at it to see. So this says effective October 1st, 2017, a public body may not meet in a closed session until it has designated one or members to take training in the act. But we designated Shantae, right? So she's no longer here.
Yeah, Mr.
So-
Johnson's trained too.
Okay, good.
Okay.
They both did the training, so we'd have that covered when Shantae was not here.
Okay, so he's actually the council, because one of the council members was telling me it had to be a council member, but that does not what this says. But she says that it's updated. Now the update says that it has to be a council member to take the training, but if he's already taken it.
Yeah, he's taking it, but I'm not aware of any change that
whoever.
require a council member.
Okay, so I'll ask her again about it, because she said it to me, because I said, well, I don't think anybody on council did it, but you can do it online. So she just sent
Right.
me, she sent me the whatever online, so.
What's that class?
Of course, it's 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
That's a lot of time out of my day.
Hold on a second. What'd you say?
I said it's 2.5 hours.
2.5
It's
hours.
a lot of time out of my day.
But he's a council member, so that would mean that we're in compliance.
Yeah, I mean, we purposely did that. They both went to the same class
Okay.
so that we'd have a backup person.
Okay. Because I mean, she's going to have somebody come out just because I think other people in the meeting were asking about it. And so the other thing is, when you did the code, when you added something to our code book, what was it? I didn't even know what it was.
well,
It looked any
one
different
was-
to me.
One part of it was you'd passed a new ordinance on parking requirements.
Oh, okay.
And so that modified Chapter 345. The other was when they did the codification for the charter, they had the boundaries wrong. They'd used an old, from our outdated charter, and so they fixed the boundaries and got them correct. And then I think the other thing they had wrong in the charter was your meeting dates, if I remember right. So does that sound right? There were 3 things that they updated. That and the only thing that was ordinance-wise was the parking change. The other 2 were
Already
codification.
existing. They were already existing and they didn't put them in there, right?
Right.
Okay, so at our next, well, maybe not the next work session, but an upcoming work session, because I still have a lot of questions about, when I went through the book, there's a lot of things that we are, I guess it's in the book that we don't do. So I have a lot of questions about that. So in the upcoming session, whatever, April, March, whatever we do, one of the future ones is coming up within the next couple months or so. I would like to have a meeting to go through the book.
Do you want to go through the whole code, the whole charter?
Just the questions that I had.
Would it be helpful to put the questions in writing and send them in, and then Sue Ellen can
jump into it.
review it and have the answers and whatever needs to be done
I can send them to you.
for that work session,
Yeah,
so that I mean, you're being productive all at the same time.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is the same charter and code that's existed for at
mean,
least
you
however
didn't
many
change
terms
it.
you've been here,
Yeah.
right? Like,
No, we
that's-
haven't changed, but we also don't follow it.
Yeah, it needs updating.
Yeah.
No,
There's
that's
a lot of
fine. I
things
just
in
mean
there.
it's been.
I don't think anything's changed, but we don't. There's a lot of it that we don't follow.
So instead of bringing it during
We
the
need to
meeting,
bring it
just
up.
bring it ahead of time is what they're saying. Just email it, or you can
That way we won't
send it
be
to
here
Rod,
till
and Rod
11
can
o'clock
get
at
it to Sue Ellen.
Yeah, the normal stuff would come through me.
Yeah.
I'll get it to the person that needs to get the answers that you need.
That way we can all be on the
I
same
can send it
page.
directly to you. No, I just have to, of course, exactly.
Well, Mr. Barnes just said the normal step would be to go directly to Mr. Barnes and let him go to Sue Ellen. We're not saying that you cannot go to Sue Ellen,
Thank you.
but the respectful thing is, because he's the town administrator, is to let the town administrator go to Sue Ellen. That way, maybe he knows the answer, It's not to go over Mr. Barnes. That's what we're suggesting.
Okay.
Of course, you can do what you like, but the respect
Thank you.
is he's the town administrator.
Yes.
And we also pay Sue Ellen when we talk to Sue Ellen.
Okay.
So you want to minimize. You want to
That's
minimize
So
That's what I'm
that.
you pretty
saying.
much nip it in the bud when you go through the town.
Right.
I got it. I got the whole thing. I got it.
No, really, pay attention to that. Go to Mr. Barnes, you can pile him up with as much
I
as
got it.
possible.
Yep.
I mean, I don't
And ordinarily,
go
he
directly
has
to
to
Sue
ask
Ellen the majority of the time either. I go to Mr. Barnes and let him go to her.
I got it.
Okay. Was there anything else, Ms. White?
I'm done. That was it for me.
Ms. Tuberville?
So, for our town administrator, I wonder if you might be able to look into something. Warline Properties, which is the same group that built those two houses on Emerson, we got a notice. I don't know if Mr. Doyle got one too, but went to everyone on Emerson saying that they were looking for a variance. They're building on the property that's in between.
Mr. Smith's and that other house.
Yeah.
Okay, because we got the notice.
Yeah.
Okay.
And those two houses are like set much closer to the curb. And
The new ones.
the new ones,
Okay.
right? And so what I'm wondering is if they're trying to seek a variance to be able to do that again.
Okay.
That I know is probably going to interfere with the sight line of the two existing houses. And it's just not something we paid attention to with the first two. So now that we know that that might be coming, I wonder if we could find that out. And then
I didn't know that was actually big enough for a lot.
It's these tiny homes they're putting in there now.
yeah, I mean they're kind of like
Yeah,
straight
I
up
know,
and
they
down.
go up, they
Yeah.
go up, but it's
They're
just
narrow.
It just seems like it's really small space, but
Yeah, it's yeah, I guess it's not that small. But then it looks like it takes up a lot of space when it's set so close to the curb.
yeah, Whirling goes around. That's their big thing is going around trying to find vacant lots to build those homes on. So
Yeah.
they're very popular.
Yeah. No, I mean they're not. I mean I've been inside at least one of them, and they're nice. But I know that Miss Chapin is not happy. I mean
Right.
she sold that property, but
Right.
like she's not happy with those two houses
Because of
being
the sight line.
set so close. Yeah. And then I was wondering, when Shantae was here, she talked about a grant proposal to expand the town hall, and I wondered what was happening with that.
We did not get it. That
didn't
was
get
the
it?
Community Legacy grant that we
Yeah.
got the Edmonston Beautiful for, but did not get the
Okay.
expansion project.
Okay.
That's actually in the budget process. I'm going to talk about another avenue to potentially pursue that, or I was until today's news about the Public Works building. And so the dollars that maybe we were thinking we could designate towards adding onto this building may go to the Public Works building to solve that
Okay.
problem.
And then the last thing I wanted to know if we might be able to get some copies of, when Parks and Planning has its like, maybe they put it out twice a year, but it's like that really big publication of all the classes and all that stuff.
Right over there under that card.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
And you can also go to the places.
I think
buildings.
it's much easier to like see what's going on with this publication than it is to
We
look
had
at.
3 or 4, and we've given them out. I think that
Not
I
take
think this is what you're talking about, right?
The guy.
Yeah. Yep.
I took some yesterday.
You did? There were more here? Okay.
But I can get more.
No, it's great. It's just an amazing resource. So
It is.
cool. Thank you. That was all.
They come to your home, but you just don't have enough.
I gotta figure out how to get them in my house.
Oh, you know they don't send it everywhere, right? Mr. Johnson?
Well, things I had pretty much was covered in the code, so. I don't, something. Well, we got a report back about the right turn on red on Kenilworth and whatnot. They feel that it's not needed, which they had a person out there for one day doing it, and one day is not enough to actually to do it.
And what was this?
and
The
Decatur and,
Kenilworth, Decatur.
which needs to be
they evaluated the
right turn on the arrow only, both. all
no,
the way
someone
around.
needs to get hit.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, that's what it is.
The
Now,
state
I also heard
said no,
in DC,
enough traffic to result in
they're eliminating a lot of right turns already. And this come out pretty much the same time as the report from Maryland State Highway with our little section. So, but I think they need more to do it more than one day, you know. And
That was a little disappointing, yeah.
They're adding a sign.
Oh wow. But
Look out for
still, you got
pedestrians.
even though
They run over them every weekend.
yeah, and plus you have people cutting through the gas station just to avoid, being in line for the light.
That's why.
You know, that's a problem because you can almost get hit there too.
They see you there a lot.
They love cutting through there, but that's
And
what,
Buchanan.
remember that also became that situation with Baxter that time when somebody cut through the parking lot and he pursued them. Remember that?
The other thing is they ignore the signs on Decatur that say do not block the driveway.
Yeah, they don't care. I mean, people be in a rush to get to nowhere.
Both driveways.
Because
the driveway.
okay, you're not there no more than a minute and a half, 2 minutes, but you're in such a rush to make that light and beat that light to go down to another light. It doesn't make sense to me.
And the gas station, there's always cars in there. I've never seen anybody cut through, but I'm saying it's always cars there. So
They cut through.
I
Believe me,
sit
they
seems
cut
so
through.
beside the
crazy.
building.
Yeah.
I sit
because
beside
it's
the
always
building.
cars sitting.
Yeah, they
Hey,
be
you go to the
cutting
gas
through there.
station, so many cars there all the time.
And also, the property between Elizabeth Landing and Fountain Park has become a big trash can, and evidently a drinking spot, smoking spot for somebody.
Where's
because that little strip between Elizabeth Landing and Fountain Park.
Oh, the rise where
That little woods
Yeah.
section, because you can see where a bunch of beer cans are and a bunch of empty roll-up packages and a little log with somebody be partying right there, And there used to be a time when the workers from Jessup would, come through, clean up. I haven't seen them lately, but now that place is become a big trash can. So I don't
mean
know
that open
if
area
Maryland-
again, Kenilworth and
Yeah,
Emerson,
that little, you can't see it during the spring.
yeah,
and whatnot.
they're
But you can
back
see it,
again.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. But
You know that
nice little party spot.
we need to have conversation with the state highway about there is like 4 trees in the medians that are destroyed or broken over. There's the sign right up here at the corner of Decatur.
The bike trail.
The sign right in the middle of the
Still laying
pedestrian
there.
is laying there.
It is.
There's another sign on further down by Three Brothers just laying there. I mean, I understand they're busy folks, but
They need to come on by.
the same situation like the trash. It isn't just there. That's trash along from Sunoco also.
Yeah, behind that wall.
Yeah.
So it's almost like our particular area is being ignored.
Yeah. So it might
Because
be
it's been there
good
too long.
that we have some
Is that- where
conversation
was that?
with the
That's
delegation and
recent?
even with
No, this is
State Highway.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Keep sending them emails until they get tired of us.
Well, it's the same thing with the situation with the light. Pretty
I
much.
would turn that area into a park.
What's that?
It's not really a park.
Here's you.
No, I mean we'd have to.
Oh,
like,
I see.
Well, with the location of Fountain Park and Elizabeth Landing, if you was to make it like a little park, it's too much underneath the balconies of the people in the park. And then it's too much of the back door of the people in the town.
Are you talking
That
right
little strip of woods right there.
that little
Right
little
closer to the
depression
apartment.
by your complex
It
and
used to be
Elizabeth Landing?
open. Well, I guess it is now. Yeah.
Well, because it's a cut through, they come down. I've gotten residents from Elizabeth Landing also complaining because the house right there,
Right, the one right.
they will hear them out there drinking and stuff,
Right.
and
It's an older couple.
Anytime after that.
it's an issue. I shoo them away when I catch them, but they're back there again. Okay.
Yeah, but if you was to just walk, 'cause I actually went over there in the little spot. You can see
And you can't
all
close session.
Yeah.
all the empty roll up wrap,
Can't
and
read it.
whoever it is,
Yeah.
they favor mango.
Yeah.
They like mango. The mango roll up.
Well,
That course,
we solved the problem with one by cutting down the trees.
Like I said, it's 2.5.
on
Yeah,
the
but it's
side of
not
Elizabeth
being
Landing.
kept up,
think it's
you know,
something about
because even like once everything's in bloom, it's woods. It's
Yeah,
woods.
but we
you
cut
know.
it. But where the other side of Elizabeth Landing, where that open area where they used to go through that other side, on Emerson and Elizabeth Landing, behind Elizabeth Landing, Emerson and
Up
here.
51st,
Yeah.
right up here. We
By
cut,
Mr. Doyle's.
we cut all,
okay.
You'll cut through.
we cut all of that down,
Especially if you have
and
to pay
it kind of shooed them away because they had no place to
Come right
hide.
there. Tell me what you said.
All that,
Yeah, that whole area. used
all
to
that
be
area, it
weeds.
used to be weeds. I used to have
There was
to
a
shoot them
path.
out of
That's
there all the time
open.
too.
Oh shit! How many years ago was that?
Probably about like 3.
Yeah.
It wasn't
It's-
that long ago.
It was about.
I
probably
don't
about
remember
like
it
3.
being that weeded.
It actually had,
Oh, yeah.
it had mattresses.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it was a
people
hot
would
mess
sit
back
on
over
the
there,
mattresses.
I've had them camping out
there.
No,
there.
behind me, this was.
Yeah, we picked up Mary and I.
I remember the lot itself being like that,
A whole bunch
No,
of
when
but
you
not
came
that,
up-
but
when
not
you
that
came-
cut.
Yeah, when you came up the side of it, that little cut through, they all would hang out in that little area.
I remember the wooded
The beer
part.
cans were the piles of beer cans.
I know,
Now,
I
is
remember.
that ours
I guess they
to
cleaned that up in
It
there.
is.
cut down?
I guess so.
Things I'm confused about here.
Is that ours to cut down?
That lot.
Where you're
Yeah,
talking
no.
about?
No, that belongs to somebody. That's what we have an issue with that now.
Is it Elizabeth Landing?
No,
Or
that's,
Fountain Park?
no, that's somebody who's trying to sell it. Sell it.
No. He's talking about back to where you're talking
Back to
about.
where you're
Oh,
talking about.
that
Is that
needs to be
Fountain Park or
that needs to be
Elizabeth
that needs to be trimmed out.
But he's saying who owns
All
it?
right.
Is it
State- I
Elizabeth
thought it was State
Landing
Highway.
or is it Fountain Park?
Because that
Actually, maybe she live over there.
that area we can easily just cut it down if it's ours and it will solve the
It's not
problem.
ours.
Yeah, yeah, and it's not. Is it Elizabeth Landing? Probably.
What's that?
That little strip of wood between.
On the other end of your complex,
Close to here?
No,
by Fountain Park?
By Fountain Park.
The one between Fountain Park and Elizabeth Lane. That little stretch of wood.
Yeah, I know.
where
right at
Neil's
the middle?
is, where
Yeah.
Neil's is, across from there is a little patch of
Oh,
wood.
no, I think
Before
that's
before you
state.
make the turn to go into
I think that's
No, it goes clear down to.
That's State
It
Highway.
comes clear down to.
that's where they had the
52nd.
staging area? Is that what
Well,
you're talking
if you take
next
it,
to
you
it.
can go right between both your location and you can go through the apartment and the townhomes. You can literally go
Right.
down into the low ground and walk
I
through.
think that's state.
That would be
I think that's county.
it's
Yeah.
definitely not.
It's state or county.
It's
or-
definitely not Fountain Park because
Yeah.
because
Yeah, the
of
fence
where
line.
fence.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
fence line. It's in between the fence line of both establishments.
Yeah.
So it's
So it's like no man's land.
Yeah.
You know?
We'll figure it out.
yeah.
We'll figure out the.
Well, whatever it is, whoever owns it, they need to trim it, thin it out. I like to get the job doing.
But that's something that I think we can do, and then we do the charge back.
Yeah,
like
that's
you did
what we get.
before.
What we get penalized if we
So,
cut it down.
Better to ask forgiveness than permission. kind of
Yeah,
thing.
would they find us for cutting the trees down? And
They probably thank
Cut
us.
the trees. We wouldn't cut trees. We
well,
cut the underbrush out.
all the shrubs.
so the only thing
Yeah.
I needed to mention was that
Okay, so they
the only thing I need to mention is that on the 19th at 12 noon in Annapolis, PGCMA is having a joint meeting with Montgomery County. They're doing something different so that we can meet with our legislators, and it's going to be at the Maryland Municipal League,
And what's the date?
the 19th, next Tuesday
What time?
at 12 noon.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not so convenient for everyone.
Yeah, I can't make that.
Yeah. And the county executive just released information about a youth program for summer jobs. I think it's the ages of 14 to 21.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I think she sent an email to the majority of people.
They're expanding the program that we've applied and we're approved for it, but the last 2 years, children either for whatever reason that were assigned to us, they had personal issues and had to back out, or the distance for them to get to here from where they were assigned
Oh yeah, I
was
remember.
was too far. So
And the good thing with that, they, with this, summer program, they have 2 dates where they're allowing the children to come and they're helping them fill out the application. So, that's really good, and it goes to March, the application process. It's open now till
it's a great
March.
program. It's just we haven't been very successful.
When I go to my office,
And
I
then,
have to replenish my little.
For Sue Ellen, I know that you had mentioned you talked to Sue Ellen as well about the cell tower ordinances.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I think we need to go ahead and move forward
Yes.
with the cell tower ordinances because I think it's going to be very important. You know, down in Riverdale, now I don't know if it's their telephone pole or not. You know what I'm talking
You're
about?
talking that cell tower that's over there at Riverdale?
Yeah, is that what? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a cell tower.
Those, they are cell towers.
Yeah, it's over there where Greg's Towing, Riverdale Road.
That's a downtown.
It's just on the other side by the overpass. It's a tower. It's a
So,
cell
no,
tower.
I'm talking on Kenilworth.
It's on Kenilworth?
Yeah, I'm asking,
No,
are
I'm
they
thinking-
are they just telephone poles that are really close together?
How do they look?
They look just like cell towers. Yep.
Yeah, well, then that's, they
Yep,
probably
they're looking
got
like these.
They probably
Is
just
it in
put
the,
up.
is it
That's-
in Riverdale Park right away, or whose right away?
It's right on Kenilworth Avenue going
That's
towards
State Road.
I haven't seen this.
Good Luck
Oh,
Road,
I'm
going
sorry.
towards Good Luck
That's
Road.
never
state
seen tower.
Yeah, it's a new
State of
concept. It's a new
Yeah.
concept. Small cell towers. It was a FCC
And so when I saw that, I
initiative to get
said, okay, now it's
eliminate
time
the
for
big-
us to
to
really
get
eliminate
cell
the
phone
big-
service to the
Emergency
rural
ordinance.
area.
The little one.
And what
Well,
has
I was
happened
ready to
is,
do that.
instead of focusing
month.
on the rural, they're doing it in the urban.
okay.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, I said,
Oh,
I
yeah,
thought
this
it was
is
gonna
new.
be on our agenda.
Because,
I didn't
yeah,
realize it wasn't.
because the cell tower, I'm used to them big
So let's
old,
get
yeah,
on with the
because
next
they got one up,
I mean,
Fresno
it's not
Springs
happening.
Park,
Yeah.
Well, we need
Well,
to.
these are
Get
it
these are
done, yeah.
Wi-Fi
They're
cell
coming.
But,
units.
yeah, so the mayor wanted us to make sure we included aesthetics requirements of what that should look like.
Yeah.
I have the aesthetics that I have been able to put together so far. I think there's going to be more of that is developed. And I think, and the aesthetics you have until April 15 to get into law. But the laws that I've been writing have camouflage required, and, a number of size. Some of these things are supposed to be done through zoning, but the county hasn't adopted a zoning bill yet. About where things can be, how far from residences they can be, and things like
Right,
that.
yeah, that's the thing.
And
It's
in
the
the
fear.
laws that I've been writing, I actually have some zoning stuff in there because there's no county bill yet. And I spoke to Danielle Glaros actually this week about that, who's on the county council. That, we're looking for some
Right.
help here.
Right. I'm sorry.
I saw
I'll
what
tell
you
the
did
past one.
for,
I gave you too
the
many,
one
the
you
one
did.
was mine.
I saw Bladensburg,
Sorry.
and you were pretty thorough on that one. So
We said yours is
I
gonna look
said-
very much like
I
that.
said, I said,
Okay, I
good,
gave mine
okay.
too.
Oh, okay. So,
Yeah.
and they keep evolving because this keeps changing all the time. It's just moving all the time. Even the cable lawyers aren't keeping up with it. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just so concerned about health, but what can we
We're
do?
not allowed to say,
Right,
talk
yeah,
about
and that's
that.
the thing that really bothered me is that we're not allowed. If
We can
someone
only
is-
we can only regulate if the pole's going to fall on somebody, not whether the radio waves are going to hurt. them.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, that was my next
Right.
question. So they can just come in and put them anywhere they want?
They can't.
We can regulate that.
You can regulate
Okay, so
that.
they can go all the way down Kenilworth, but
Right.
they can't just come through the residentials and just start.
But the
and
fear is
the state must be doing
radio
it.
waves. What's it gonna? You know how?
The long-term impact, nobody knows.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
long-term
yeah.
effect.
You have to think about. My concern is our future, like our
The
children's
grandkids,
children
yeah.
and so on. But
The only studies that they have done that the FCC has recognized are ones that are the big cell towers, which are hundreds and hundreds of feet away from people, not these little ones. They haven't done studies enough, and the FCC won't consider them.
these little ones that are here, here,
Yeah.
here,
Yeah, but they're
here,
every 50
right.
feet, so that's
150 feet.
But you just
75
said
feet.
the bigger ones, 100 feet, it has to be 100 feet.
No, the bigger ones are hundreds of feet away from people. They're the ones you see out in those right-of-ways, those utility right-of-ways and stuff, those big towers. Those are way far away,
The big ones that look like you could put the shovel.
These go in the tree box
Now they make them
on
look
your
like
street.
trees.
Yeah.
They can be like 30 feet from your child's
house.
bedroom window. You know,
Yeah,
it's-
right.
Yeah.
Wow. Could
So-
be 4 to a pole, 2 to a pole, you know.
Now you're gonna have me go looking at the
So we
stuff
have to
when I go
regulate
around
that.
and around.
Okay.
Who's sponsoring the bill that wireless, that basically is on behalf of the wireless industry?
Well, there's two bills right now that are going through parallel. One is a coalition bill, which is the coalition of MACO and MML. The other is an industry bill.
Right.
And the FCC has said we have to allow these installations in our right-of-way. You can't say no. At the federal level, they've been saying that. They've been sued over that, and there's a coalition of people that are suing them about that. But until that's all decided, that's the law. And so these companies are looking to make provision for these cell towers, or these little cells, so that they can, and the way they've been selling that so far is to say, so we're ready for 5G when it comes. Then 5G is not ready yet. But 5G, that bandwidth is going to allow for like driverless cars and everybody having multiple devices that have to connect all the time. So you're required to do it. If you don't have any standards in place, then they don't have to follow anything. So you need to get some standards in place. What the industry bill is trying to do right now is to take all your control of your right-of-way away from you and take it up to the state level.
Now, are they trying to say like eminent domain or something, where they just gonna need this area?
They're just,
And
they're gonna be in the
because-
right-of-way like the telephone is.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can
That's
see
it.
that.
You're stuck. And the question is, you know,
that's what it sounds
what
like.
you're gonna
like
wanna
the
do
telephone
is
wires.
to, first of all, aim them toward commercial areas rather than residential areas. Like, you're lucky with Kenilworth Avenue going there. Hopefully, they'll all just go up Kenilworth Avenue,
Right.
Yeah,
you
they
know?
probably
And
will.
then you
Being
don't have to
between
worry about it.
Kenilworth
Yeah,
and Route
when you
1.
be strong enough,
Right.
you can pick up.
Well,
But then
when they,
you got-
the small boxes, what they do, it's
See that?
it's almost like a frequency hop. It has to be angled to the next box to pick up the next
Yeah, it
box
is.
to
They
the
have to
next
see
box.
each other.
And then you
So
should be
they
able to
can't.
connect.
They basically, each box has to be aligned with the next one. So there, it's not. If they do Kenilworth Avenue, hopefully they'll all just go straight down Kenilworth Avenue. Hopefully nothing is turned into the town towards the residents. They just, but you still would be able to get the signal from it being in town
Yeah.
because it's going down Kenilworth. but
Gotcha.
The main
Yeah.
radio waves.
So, we'll,
But
you
the
know,
FCC reg is being challenged.
Yes.
Do you
The
know who
FCC
brought
did
suit
this,
for that?
There's a coalition of municipalities and other local governments that have done it across the United States.
And didn't they partly do it, Sue, out of the idea that it would help the rural areas get better cell service?
And that won't happen
Yeah.
from that.
And so what happened was the industry decided, oh no, we can concentrate in the urban areas
That's where
and
they make the money.
and make a lot more money than we would if we go out and offer it to the rural. So it's not doing what it was accomplished
No.
or meant to be.
So bait and switch.
Yeah,
Say one
bait
thing
and switch,
do
yep.
another.
Yeah.
So it's
So we're
just
we're
like
going to
an
be.
area that just doesn't
I'll have
want
an ordinance.
those things.
Yeah, I'll have an ordinance for you, and then as we learn more and get more information, we can amend it later and add in things. But we need to get something on the book so you have something to say to them when they come in.
You're going to send back a revised election charter
Yes.
document.
Yes.
So, did you get your question answered about
The meetings? No. I have a quick. We can close the meeting. I mean, we don't have to
well, go ahead.
sit
No.
here. I'm trying to reconcile our meeting dates for March and the end of February. So,
Thank
Rod, we have February 26th,
Yes.
5:30.
Yes.
All right. And then March 5th, there's a
Yes.
town council work
It's our normal work session date.
at 7.
Yeah.
That's not going to deal with any budget stuff.
Right.
Right. Okay. And then March 7th, budget wrap up town hall is at 5:30, right?
Correct.
Okay. It says 6:30 on the.
Oh,
proposed budget count. No, that's okay. I'm just trying to.
thank you for catching that.
Yeah, because everything 5:30.
And then we have a regular town council meeting. Well, and then another town council work session on March 13th.
Yes, you're meeting with Sue Ellen at 6 o'clock on the 13th of March to go over expectations and
Okay. Got it. Got it. And then we won't
normal
have a
council
regular
meeting.
town council meeting. That'll be the hearing on the budget
No, it's our regular meeting. It's just,
plus hearing.
yeah, the hearing's part of that regular meeting.
Okay. Thanks, Sue Ellen. Okay, and then,
April 10th is our regular meeting, and the budget ordinance is just an item on the agenda.
okay, I see I thought we were trying to conflate the work sessions and town council meetings together. Are we not
did
doing
for
that
March.
anymore?
Oh,
Because we have April 2 work session and then April 10 town hall meeting.
Yeah, I thought we was gonna combine.
You talked
all.
about it, but you never did decide if that's what you wanted to do, and then we
I
went
thought
back
we
to-
were doing it for a little bit though.
We did do it for a couple, 3 months. If you want to do that, you all just tell me.
I think we can do it as we go.
Okay,
We don't
that's
have to
fine.
have the
Yeah.
March, we don't have to have the
We can
March
do it as we
5th
go.
work session since we're having the March 7th budget work session.
Yeah, I think it was happening based on what we had, the load that we had. So you said what, March, what? I'm sorry.
March 5th is your town council work session, but you're meeting on March 7th, Thursday, that's Tuesday night. Thursday night, you're meeting for a work session for budget review, and so you could combine those two. Or you could have your work session, do away with the 5th completely, because you're meeting at 6 o'clock on the 13th
Yeah,
with Sue Ellen. So it would seem like the March 5th meeting should be done away with.
I would be fine with that if other people are.
I'm fine with it.
Okay.
Makes no difference to me.
All right, cool. Sorry, that's all I needed. Thank you.
So the only thing is gone is March 5th.
So why you take us up the street and
Mr.
around
Barnes?
the corner?
Yeah.
That's the only thing that's gone.
Sorry, I have a touch of dyslexia.
Excuse
It's
me?
hard for me
I'll
to
have a new one.
reconcile these two things.
I don't even have March.
Send it out.
Yeah, so. And then March 7th actually starts at 5:30, not 6:30.
Right.
I think all of them are 5:30, 5:35.
Right.
And do you want food
With Sarah.
for those 5:30 meetings?
Yeah,
No, I'm gonna.
Yes?
yeah,
Yeah, it makes
Yes.
sense.
yeah.
Okay.
Like we should have had it today.
That was a low blow.
I was here for it.
That's why I bought my food.
Take it as a low
Yeah,
I apologize.
So we're not having a work
I
session.
wasn't clear on my directive.
Because wouldn't the work session be April 2nd?
So
we're not having a work session in April.
Like McDonald's.
What?
We're not having a work session in
Marty has
April.
colon
Right.
You didn't say.
Because wouldn't that be on the 2nd?
Yeah, it would be the 2nd. And I just don't have it on here, but
But that's right.
normal
Okay.
schedule.
All right. I just want to know.
Unless you change it to combine it with the 10th. That's what Sarah was just saying.
Okay.
That she would like for y'all to combine the work session with the council meeting.
Yeah.
And meet ahead of the council meeting for work sessions.
Right.
Is that what?
We can do that. That's on the 10th.
So that'll be April the
Hopefully get
10th
out
combination.
on time.
Okay.
Does that work?
Yeah.
Okay. April,
April 10th. April
Okay.
10th.
Are we adjourned? 'Cause
April
it's
10th
like-
is 5:30.
No,
This is like-
there hadn't been a motion for it yet, because she
Go ahead.
asked.
My mom being sick and then
Well, we'll be waiting for the mayor and the
I don't
council
know.
member.
crazy. I move we
Captain.
adjourn the meeting.
Oh,
Yeah, that's second. Yeah, I was just.
Is that what you were saying?
No, I was asking, while I was waiting for you guys to have your conversation, I was going to ask a question to the...
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
sorry, I was really being dramatic too, but how I was acting, I'm so sorry. Just caught myself.
Well, she already
Is
moved.
there a motion to
So,
adjourn the
you
meeting?
adjourned? Okay.
Sarah already did, and I already
Is there a
seconded.
second?
Okay.
All right, meeting, all in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Meeting's adjourned.
Question, to update on the...